Hi everyone, good morning. So you're welcome back to our study of Genesis, the story of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's been a long time and I'm sorry for the long break. This is Debbie's YouTube channel. My name is Deborah DK, and in this channel I share about my life, pretty much what's going on with me at each point in time. So I'm doing my Bible study. So why I had a long break was because life came in between and I had to stop. So now I'm back to it. So let's continue to study the Bible. There is a playlist that is just Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So I would encourage you to watch them all. But then again, I'm going to add the link, I think, at the description box. So let's go. So today I'm going to be doing two parts. The first part is verses 19 and chapters 19 and 20. And the second part in another video, so that it's not very long, is chapters 21 and 22. So what am I pretty much doing? I'm reading the Bible and reacting to it as I would as a human being. So you're welcome to study the Bible with me. Let's go. Genesis 19 from King James Version. And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. This is the story of Lot. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself with his face towards the ground. And he said, Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, and all the people from every quarter, and they called unto Lot. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men which came in to thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. That's basically have sex with them. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold, now I have two daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do you to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof. And they said, Stand back. And they said again, This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them. And the pressed saw upon the man even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand, and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut to the door. And they smote the men, and they were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, Hast thou here any besides, son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city? Bring them out of this place, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord. And the Lord had sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get ye out of this place, for the Lord will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take thy wife and thy two daughters which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his two daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth, and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them from abroad, that he said, Escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, my Lord. Behold, now thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die. Behold, now this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one, and my soul shall live? And he said unto him, See, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for the which thou hast spoken. Haste thee, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou become thither. Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities, and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the city, and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord, and he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that God remembered Abraham, and set and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in the which Lot dwelt. And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his two daughters with him, for he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in a cave, he and his two daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the manner of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drunk wine that night, and the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down, or when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow, that the firstborn said unto the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine this night also, and go down in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not when she lay down, or when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger she also bore a son, and called his name Benami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. So we see a lot is happening in just this chapter 19. First of all, the backstory is that God has decided to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, but Abraham in chapters 18 or 17 thereabout had made an intercession on behalf of Lot, trying to ask, what if there were righteous men in the city, will you save them? And he said, and God had agreed that if he saw up to 10, he would save them. So now the angels of God are here to destroy the city, but Lot, being a righteous man in to some extent, recognized them and showed them hospitality, invited them to his house. And we see what played out. The city was so corrupt that the people of the city wanted to sleep and have sex with these men, the men of the city. So they were practicing some form of sexual depravity of sorts, yes. So, and Lot, the first drama is that Lot appealed to them. Let these guys be, they're my guests, take my daughters and do what you want to do with them. And they wanted to beat Lot, because he's not exactly a sodomite, he's a visitor. Like, he's just living there, he's like an immigrant sort of, and were mad at him. And the angels saved him, they drew him inside the house, and they smote them with blindness, and that was it. And at that point, the decision was final. We have to destroy this place. It's terrible. They all had to go. This is not what God's plan for this place is. And God wanted to save Lot, his family, his sons, everybody that was related to him. But of course, it looked like a joke. Like, how can you come and tell me that this Lagos is about to be destroyed, for instance? Like, except God is telling me that, I can't believe you, because from where to where, how? Like, it's like everything is going suddenly fine, and all of a sudden, piam, you're telling me that, come, let's leave Lagos, they're about to destroy it. I'm going to be looking at you like, are you sure you're okay? So I think that was what the sons-in-law's reaction was. And of course, there was dilly-dally, even Lot dilly-dally, because remember, he lives here, he has properties, he has his life going for him. So it wasn't even an easy move for him per se. So for it made sense for him to not want, and the angels had to lay hold of him, and then they had to take him out. And then in taking him out, he had to beg, I don't want to go to mountain. Like it was so confusing. I can imagine what Lot was going through, because the whole process was, everything was happening fast. And it's not easy for him to process things very soundly at that point. But the angels just, okay, whatever, what do you want? You don't want to go here, where do you, okay, we'll wait for you, get there. And then his wife turns back. I mean, she turns to a pillar of salt. So it was so confusing. Like, I don't envy Lot at this moment, because he was going through a lot. And then he gets to the place, his daughters now want to sleep with him. Prior to that, Abraham, from his own end, is looking and seeing that this place is destroyed. I don't know whether at that point he knows that Lot has been saved or not, but nobody knows what's really going through his head. Like, okay, maybe there was no up to 10 people were now found worthy to save the city. Like, he's looking at it. But Lord makes us know that, the Bible makes us know that God remembered Lot and saved him for Abraham's sake. And then the daughters sleep with their father, and they start to bear children that become the enemies of Israel. If you know anything about the Ammonites, which is from the first child, no, the Moabites, which is from the first child, and the Ammonites, which is from the second child, you know that these people fought Israel in the future. Like, when the cities became multiplied and became bigger, they fought Israel more. Like, so it was as if like Lot's descendants fought Abraham's descendants, tooth nail, everything. So everything just got messed up. And for me, my takeaway from this chapter is not to do things on my own accord. It's crazy, because imagine the daughters of Lot. They were thinking, it's just us and our father. But I'm sure that as Christians now, we know better to trust God and to ask God for the way forward in certain things. But I'm sure it wasn't easy for them at that point. Maybe because the Holy Spirit was not yet there. I don't know. But I'm learning. Like, my takeaway point of this is to trust God. If God says go, go. If God says stop, stop. If God did not provide any means to make babies, leave it alone like that. I mean, he knows better, so that there won't be chaos, a lot of mess in the future, like the chaos and the mess that happened on earth between the Israelites, Ammonites, and the Moabites would have been saved if all of this did not happen. So that's it. I said I was going to do chapters 1 and 2 at the same time, but this video is already long. It's already 13 minutes. So I'm going to stop and do another video for chapter 20 and 21 and 22 and like that. So yeah, thank you for staying here. If you're here to now, you know better to like, subscribe, share the video, comment. Let's study. It's pretty much we're studying the Bible together. So yeah, don't give up.